above the net. And she said she's always had that killer instinct, and there's just something about being in the air, and it's just crazy up there. And she has said that she doesn't care about player of the year or anything like that. She just wants to get as many kills as possible, as many digs off the back row, and keep the ball off the ground. That's when she knows this team can be great.
The head coach for the Wildcats, Susie Fritz, in her 22nd season, a two-time Big 12 Coach of the Year, longtime veteran, a career 16-7 record against the Missouri Tigers, including last season in the renewing of the series, a win over in Columbia 3-0. Joshua Taylor's the head coach of the Missouri Tigers, fourth-year bench boss for MU, taking over for the longtime mainstays, the Corbellis. John and Lori, who were the longtime coaches there before Taylor took over. Underway here from the Little Apple, Missouri in their road blacks, K-State in the white. Wildcats with Baca on the left with St. Mary's transfer, and it's the block of Kansas State led by Sydney Boulding that gets us started.
There must be something about Bramlage. Last time we were here, the Wildcats put up a blocking clinic. That's a good start for the Wildcats here tonight.
You referenced the NC State match where K-State rolled up 17.5 blocks. And that win over the Wolfpack in 4 sets. That's so far the third best mark in the Big 12 by any team. Carter's first swing of the night, well off the net, forced the tip. And Haley Warner on track.
Yeah, it's such a great sign for the Wildcats. Really to get her going early. We've talked about this so many times before, but she does a nice job here. The set wasn't quite what she needed to rip it, but does a nice job. Cross-court shot, that's so hard to do as a lefty there on the right side.
Warner's numbers down a bit from last year. K-State hopeful to get her started. Carter able to get that in thanks to a tip at the net. She went to stuff the overpass.
Yeah, it's a great call by the refs. I think Missouri thought they might have gotten away with that one, but definitely a touch on that attack by Carter.
Joshua Taylor had come up to ask his team if he should challenge or not. They said nope, did indeed touch it. On the left side, Kaylee Cox, and while we spent the open talking about, and rightfully so, Carter and Dixon being somewhat the headliners for their respective teams, it's been the OH2 position, the second left side hitter that has starred for both respective squads.
Yeah, it's really interesting. You look at the numbers for Cox and Baca for the Wildcats. They are very eerily similar.
Was Cox a moment ago that was able to get the first point of the match from Missouri, but a double on the set gives K-State the side out. It's a Tiger team in transition, a very young team, 13 freshmen or sophomores on a roster of 16. Baca with the up. Carter looking for the finish, couldn't quite get it. Tight set for Carter, and she follows through into the net.
A little out of system play for the Wildcats. Baca had to take that second contact, and just way too tight for Carter. She tried to do something, but Missouri was all over it.
Understandably, the Tigers very cognizant of where number 2 will be.
Yeah, likely they may go one-on-one with the other hitters and try to put a double up with Carter.
2 blockers on her there. K-State covers. The Bobcats go right side, and Warner shorts it.
That's a connection that their Wildcats are really trying to work on with Hinkle.
Lauren Hinkle, the converted back row player into setter. K-State setter moving on after last season, and the Wildcats, with only a freshman there, opted for Hinkle to move into the role. She has excelled at former setter on the prep ranks, but Missouri able to recover after a slow start, have tied it here in the first set.
They're gonna pull Carter up and just do it almost a 2-person pass.
Only 1 blocker for Warner, but she's unable to get a clean look. Everything to the pins right now for K-State, and the Tigers setting up with their own big block.
Almost a missed opportunity. A great pass for the Wildcats, but Hinkle again pushes that right side. But Warner just not able to beat that block.
6'2" sophomore Cox was there. First time we've really seen the middles involved. K-State's Fernholz denied, and then K-State comes back with a block, but it goes out. Tigers with 5 straight force an early K-State timeout. We take it as well. Tigers 6, Cats 4. Tigers on a 5-0 run. When we return on Big 12 Now on ESPN+.
Nachos, better with Pepsi.
Here is your chance to win a VIP trip to Times Square and $1 million live on national television. Enter Kansas Lottery's Powerball First Millionaire of the Year promotion today, and you and a guest could win an exciting trip to New York City and appear on Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve. Don't miss your chance to become the next Powerball First Millionaire of the Year. The countdown is on. Enter today. See KSLottery.com for details.
We get out, fired up, hook big ones. We get out and rip it. And we track them down. So crack a Mountain Dew. Get out and do.
Whatever you do, don't drop it. 5, 4, 3, 2. What's that?
Tigers on a 5-0 run, have them up by 2 in the Little Apple. Their first visit to Manhattan since 2011. From the longtime rivals of the Big 8 and Big 12. K-State goes to the right side, and Haley Warner gets the kill. We said it at the outset, but clearly K-State doing everything they can to get Warner going out on the right side. Already with 5 attacks.
Yeah, definitely an important connection for the Wildcats to get going. Trying to take some of the pressure off the left sides will be important as they try to enter Big 12 play here soon.
Warner will rotate out, and a crafty dump by Riley Buckley over the top. Freshman setter who was a top 30 overall national pick out of the high school ranks. Ends up with her first point.
That's a really smart play. She saw the block start to go with that slide. She does a nice job of slipping it right over the net.
Carter already 8 attacks, only 1 kill for the superstar of K-State. A 9th swing for the superstar, and she gets it in.
Saw Missouri almost had, it looked like 5 attackers, 2 from the back row, 3 from the front, and K-State able to get the kill there with Aaliyah Carter.
So Carter now back to the back row, will go to serve. Dixon's first opportunity on the left side in the town that she first called home. Dixon, a K-Stater for the first couple of years, then transferred to Missouri. She's a native of Lewisburg, Kansas, which is about 50 minutes south of Kansas City, right on the border with Missouri.
Yeah, Anna there using that block to her advantage. Again, one of those kind of old school, old style play of using that block a little bit more as an outside hitter.
Baca splits the back row. Now Dixon out of the prep ranks was such a highly touted recruit for K-State. It was a bit of a surprise when she left. She's had a decent career at Missouri. The Tigers have not had as much overall team success. And in the meantime, K-State, because of the departure of Dixon, if anything, it had landed them Aaliyah Carter.
It's definitely interesting, the puzzle pieces as they move with this new transfer portal and how it's really affecting teams and how they're able to fill those gaps with players leaving.
Sydney Bolding gets her first kill of the day. What a season Bolding has put together so far for the Wildcats. a transfer on that subject out of Jacksonville. Baca might have been headed out on that flip across, but the Tigers played it. Then Boulding finds the soft spot near the net.
That's a great vision there by Sydney Boulding. She does a good job, sees the double block and no one in left front. Very smart. Also, I would assume some scouting reports were very well studied by the Wildcats.
Yeah. Jeff Grove, associate head coach, long-time assistant here at Kansas State with Susie Fritz. Grove in his 24th year. Spent a couple of years with Coach Fritz as an assistant under Jim McLaughlin, the legendary head coach who was your head coach, Liz, and then went on to great fame at Washington and won a national championship. Tigers side out, killed by Dixon.
Wow, that was an impressive shot. Double block up, but able to still find the line for Dixon.
Great up with the back roll by the Tigers, Cox. And it gets over the net to K-State. Boulding blocked. Carter from behind the 3-meter line is stuffed.
Yeah, Cox is doing it all from the front row, blocking and killing it, and then just all out getting that ball, keeping it in play, and then the block with the finish.
Coach going to be in a treat tonight watching Baca and Cox. Both sand volleyball player-esque types, right? Can do it all.
Utility players.
Exactly right. Baca, a great sand volleyball career at St. Mary's, finishing up in her final year as a transfer. K-State on that dump attempt by Buckley. Dixon tips, and that falls. And Anna Dixon off to a fast start against her former team. 3 kills on 4 swings.
Wow, we really see a lot of back and forth. Both these teams really putting it on defensively, making the other team work for each play.
Baca is blocked. Isla and Strasser. And Susie Fritz will use her second and final timeout. K-State led 4-1 to begin this set. But the Tigers, as you said, defensively have stepped it up. 5 blocks here in the early going against the Wildcats.
Yeah, and you almost feel a little bit, you see Coach Grove here talking to Lauren Hinkle, maybe some distribution, maybe getting players in the right situation, because really Missouri's block has really been putting up a pretty good wall for K-State to try to hit around, and maybe trying to mix it up a little bit might give them a little bit better look and try to throw that Missouri defense off a little.
Tigers, speaking of scouting, seem to be knowing what's coming from Kansas State so far as coaching staff of the Tigers look through what they have done to this point, offer up some encouragement. It's the 5 blocks of Missouri that have been the difference so far in the early going, and it's been spread out. Nobody with more than 2, but you see here, setting up on the left side on the pins of K-State, the Cats have pushed a lot of attacks to the outside. Only 5 swings in the middle out of their 30 to this point. And it's resulted in a lot of those.
Yeah, Missouri's doing a really nice job of just keeping that ball in front of them. They're not reaching, they're making K-State earn their attacks at the net, and it's paying off with their blocks.
We mentioned K-State's block numbers, 17.5 against NC State. Last time they were in this building, 3rd most in the Big 12 this year in a match. Well, the Tigers, not to be outdone, they actually had a 16-block match against Nova, Kentucky to open the season. That still remains the high watermark of any team in the SEC this season. Tigers among the conference best when it comes to blocking. And have some size in the middle. Strasser, as you see there, is 6'4". Sell, the other middle, at 6'3". Dixon, of course, at 6'3". We've already mentioned Cox at 6'2". Everybody starting for the Tigers is over 6 foot, and that includes the libero, Leandra Mangual-Duran. Boulding on the right side, blocked. Baca off the top of the block. See if K-State starts to adjust their shot angles here. Dixon dug over by K-State, just barely. Baca able on the second effort to knock it back against Iliff, and the Cats win a rally.
Yeah, Coach Fritz is really upset right now. She's wanting this double by the Missouri setter Buckley. She's been calling it multiple times. Baca, good job of just sticking with that play at the net.
Baca's first kill, believe it or not. Now Hinkle to serve. And a perfect serve by Lauren Hinkle, who can really put it on teams. That's her 9th ace of the season, already top 5 in the Big 12 in that department.
You see both teams trying to go at the outside hitters right now. Anna Dixon, she doesn't typically play back row, so they're going to try to get the ball at her as she's trying to pass and hit.
Another roof delivered by the Tigers.
You see Baca's trying to hit those high hands, but Missouri's just putting up a really nice big block, and they're finishing that block into the court really nicely.
Lauren Forbes in to serve. Went for the high hands this time, but too early. The block wasn't there yet, and an error by K-State. So now 8 kills, 8 errors by the Wildcats for their offense here in set number 1. A block by K-State, but it caught the antenna. Even when the Wildcats feel like they do something right, it's not going their way.
Yeah, the ball just isn't getting the bounce that they need, either out of bounds or in the antenna.
Missouri has only 6 kills in this first set. They have lived off the mistakes of the Wildcats. Another error by Kansas State.
Yeah, and really you think K-State's passing pretty well. They're getting themselves into a pretty good position. They're just not able to find the attack where they need it.
Wildcats are going to make a change here. Bring out Aaliyah Carter and bring in Shaylee Myers. Just trying to shake things up a little bit. Myers, the true freshman, out of Lincoln, Nebraska, automatically gets the first serve, and it's a service error, or a receive error, I should say, and an ace for the Tigers.
Yeah, it's tough to come in off the bench as a freshman and pass that first ball. But we know she's got great abilities to play all 6 rotations.
Baca steps in front to take the pass and take the swing. And this time gets the high hands.
Yeah, that's the shot that Baca really has been looking for. Just hasn't been able to find those hands at the right time. There was a perfect finish for Baca.
Native of Greece, played at St. Mary's, where she was an all-conference player in the West Coast Conference. Just got it across the twine. Out to Cox, who finishes in transition. What a play.
I really like Cox's approach to the ball. She does a really nice job getting a good runway and keeping that ball in front of her, which really allows her to see that block.
Made it out of nothing because the serve was good by Baca, kind of making Buckley run. Warner trying to come back and gets the touch off the back line.
There must be something in the scouting reports that's really getting K-State's really wanting to push that ball right side.
You would think. I mean, there is the whole idea of, yeah, you want to get Warner fired up and turned on here before you get in the conference season, but after a while, some of that limited success early, you wonder, all right, maybe it's just not her night, but because they keep pushing it, that lends credence to what you're saying. Scouting-wise, K-State must sense something against the left side defense of Missouri that they want to try to exploit. Sydney Bolding, we've seen her serve a few times this year. She also came into tonight tied for 5th in the Big 12 in service aces. And is put up 2 straight for K-State here. Just the 3rd attack error of the night for the Tigers. That'll force their first timeout. After the Missouri Tigers built a pretty good lead, K-State trying to chip away at it. Joshua Taylor says, hang on a minute, let's take a break and talk about it. Of course, the Missouri Tigers in Manhattan for the first time since 2011. Football team will be here coming up on Saturday as well. Their first time playing K-State since 2011. You too have fond memories of playing on the Missouri Tigers. We mentioned at the outset you're the all-time kill leader at K-State, and that happened against the Missouri Tigers.
It
the
did.
match that you got the record.
Yes, my senior year. I remember it very fondly because Missouri had a phenomenal outside hitter as well, Lisa Morris, and we were battling back and forth, and just a lot of fun volleyball. Good memories playing against Missouri.
September 26th of 2001, 26 kills by Liz Wagner put her in the all-time record at K-State, and then went on to rack up a whole bunch more, a record that'll never be taken away. So news and notes from around the Big 12 Conference. 3 teams in the ABCA Top 25. The Jayhawks off to a fast start, ranked number 19 this week. Texas, no surprise, number 1. They've taken on all comers to this point. As you can see the combined record of those 3 teams. Texas Tech off to a fast start. Boy, what a job the coaching staff down there in Lubbock have done with the Red Raiders. And Logan Eggleston, incredible numbers so far to begin this season. We saw the numbers at the outset for Carter and Dixon, who respectively have put up very good numbers, averaging about 4 points a set. Eggleston on another planet, over 6.
She's a phenomenal player, and you just think, how could she continue just to be getting better? But I keep watching clips of her, and wow, she's something. It's a joy to watch her play, that's for sure.
The Longhorns featuring a couple of U.S. national team members. It'd be hard to see anybody take them down when it comes to the national championship race. Another long rally between these 2 teams, and K-State wins the point. So on the serve of Sydney Bolding, K-State climbing back into the match.
Yeah, just a little bit of almost pepper back and forth. But Shaylee with a good finish there at the net.
Shaylee Myers checking in for Carter here in this set. Hasn't been solely the reason why K-State's gotten back into it, but it's been part of it. 4-0 run by the Wildcats. Back to Warner, and she finishes on the right.
Yeah, I think no mistake there. That ball is going to the right side when they're in system right now. When they've got Warner in the front row, and she's able to get a great set, finds the seam, and gets a good rip on it.
The only thing I can think of is maybe the middle of Missouri is a little tardy getting out to the left, as we saw in that replay. Just thinking perhaps of Carter. Good quick set of the middle by the Tigers to end the run.
You know, you definitely know Missouri's going to feel that pull to want to go. That middle is really going to want to try to keep an eye on the outside. So why not take advantage when you've got Warner in the front row?
Tigers break the run, and now will serve. Myers. She'll hit it off the back row and get the kill. Seen a lot of the freshmen from Lincoln, but in the one match that we did see her, she tallied 18 kills and hit .516 with 4 service aces on the left side.
Phenomenal outing, first outing for the freshman. We know she's got a lot of skill in there. Just see how she'll handle the pressure playing a big match against, you know, an old school rivalry.
Holes. It's an overpass. Myers was involved in the receive as it came over, but still got back out to get the finish.
We love to see the freshman kind of doing it all, making some good plays defensively and then getting out in there and not doing too much with her attack. She's just keeping that ball in the court.
Susie Fritz said after the match with Florida A&M when Myers went off, giving Carter a break in the 3rd match of a tournament, Susie Fritz said that it was, hey, we're just trying to give Carter a rest. We know it's a long season, but she also made a point to say Shaylee Myers has earned every bit of her opportunities as a true freshman. They have really been impressed with the way she has practiced and played.
Yeah, she definitely, K-State really works the numbers in practice as to who's going to be playing in the game. And you got to practice well to perform well during the games.
And get the opportunity.
Yep.
Couple of good swings back-to-back by Katie Fernholz, junior from South Dakota, was part of that freshman class with Carter and Mackenzie Morris, the libero that really took K-State by storm back in the COVID year of 2020. Service error by K-State after getting it tied. And the Tigers get an all-important side out here late in set one. Blocking error on the Tigers, a costly mistake.
Again, you saw Fernholz go behind the setter, your setter's front row live, so they're really trying to pull that Missouri block as much as they can to the pins, and that's a great set by Hinkle.
Master of the jump set. Mackenzie Morris to serve. 7 aces for the Wildcats in the top 10 of the Big 12. Dixon rattles the block and gives the Tigers the ball back.
Bolding liked to have that one back. She made a great move, which just is a little high right as Dixon hit that ball, and it just snuck down in between her arms. You see her finish was a little late.
Hinkle attempting to slide it in, overshot it. And now Missouri up 2, needing 2 points for the set.
Oh, I like that play by Hinkle to be an offensive weapon at the net. K-State needs that, but just missed it a little wide.
Baca, a little bit one blocker. Perhaps a byproduct of what we just saw before with Hinkle, right?
Yeah, you got a live setter. You got to stay true on that block. And they've been pushing so much right side. You saw Bolding go behind, and that left Baca one-on-one.
Yep, Sell went after that. The middle blocker, as you saw in that replay. Good shot there from our crew. Sell went fading out to the right. And a service error by Hinkle. So as good as she has been, 2 costly mistakes here in the end of set 1, and it's set point for the Tigers. K-State would need 2 straight points to send it to extra points. Tigers need only 1 to get an early statement here in Bramlage. Overpass. Baca breaks the first set point. Tigers still with set point, but K-State now just 1 to tie it up.
Yeah, Baca does such a nice job. She hits so high. Her contact angle is really high. Just able to sneak that in the deep corner of the court.
Tigers on the run. Advantage K-State. Myers ties it. We're going extra points.
Myers does a nice job. That set is nice and wide and gives her the ability to hit there off the hands of Eiliff.
Missouri uses their second and final timeout. Think this match isn't important for both teams? This feels like a conference match for both.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting week here in Manhattan with lots of old rivalries here. It's fun to see this back and forth, and it's exactly what you want to see. Good volleyball between both teams.
Kansas State has had the upper hand in the series, 42-34 overall. They've won 29 of the last 37 meetings. And here in the Little Apple, 22-12 all time against the Tigers. And won in straight sets in Columbia last year. But Susie Fritz's club, who led at the outset 4-1, then saw Missouri come back and tie it. Tigers have led by as many as 5. It has been a back and forth affair. And the numbers, K-State with such a high advantage on kills, the reason it's been such a struggle, it's the errors for K-State. 10 attack errors for the Wildcats, 3 for the Tigers.
Yeah, that's very, very important. And, you think K-State at home wouldn't be quite as error prone, but you can definitely tell they're trying to go at Missouri, and that sometimes can lead to a little bit more on the error side.
The change from Carter to Myers has been a difference. Carter, a slow start, 2 kills, hitting -100. Myers, 4 kills on 4 swings since she came in, the freshman from Lincoln. Baca has served 3 straight points.
It's a great person to have on the service line for
No
the
doubt about
Wildcats.
that. 14 service aces, ranking 14th nationally. First to the Big 12. Cox's block, and it is set point for K-State.
Credit Baca's serve right there. That serve was so tough, and Missouri didn't get a great pass on that and had to go outside, so K-State's block able to set up.
Fans on their feet. Purple pit up and roaring. The student section on the far side. And the Tigers able to break the first set point of K-State. Iliff on the right.
Iliff's been banging away there on the right side for Missouri, not afraid to go at big 6'5" Sydney Boulding in the middle.
Now it's still anybody's match. Tigers to serve, just across the tape. Myers throwing to the corner, couldn't get it. Boulding on the overdig.
Great effort by Missouri to try to keep that ball in play, but Boulding on the receiving end of that freebie over the net.
Now Boulding to serve, again on set point for the Wildcats. Their second. Myers for the set. Got it! If that's what's in store for tonight, you will not want to stray far. Set 2 is coming up. Kansas State comes from behind to take set 1 by 2 at extra points. Back with more on Big 12 Now on ESPN+. What a first set. Kansas State comes from behind late, taking an extra points, 27-25. Here's how it ended, Liz Wagner-Bush. What'd you think of this one?
Well, I mean, Shaylee Myers, what a first set she had. She does a nice job transitioning, and she's just not doing too much. She sees the block and uses the high hands. We talked about that earlier tonight, how important using that block in front of you. And the freshman, not afraid to go up there and use the block to her advantage.
Well, I remember we took an early timeout in the match. Missouri was sitting on 5 blocks. That was, I think, in the first 7 to 8 points of the match. It was right in the first year timeout. Susie Fritz had to burn 2 timeouts early. They only had 1 block the rest of the way. And you had the switch midway through that first set of Carter coming out, Myers coming in. And at first, on the surface, you're like, what's going on? But it worked out.
Yeah, worked out really, really well for the Wildcats. And again, I think maybe they were trying to do too much early, K-State, you know, with their attacking, trying to hit more clean. But I think as an outside hitter, you've got to use your block in front of you.
Numbers so far here through the first couple of sets. You see the kill numbers largely dominant in the form for K-State. The problem were the attack errors. Once they got that cleaned up, largely because of some of the blocks, K-State was able to pull out in front and come from behind and win the match.
Yeah, you really look, Missouri hit 267 for the first set, which is not too bad. You know, K-State was only at 200, but that, again, all those errors early on really, and the block of Missouri really affected the Wildcats.
Elena Baca leads the way for K-State with 6 kills. That's a match high. Shaylee Myers, who came in late in that first set, 5 kills at 8:33. 5 kills, no errors, 6 swings. Tigers being led by Kaylee Cox, who has 5 kills. 4 for Anna Dixon, who also, like Myers, was pretty successful. 4 kills in 5 swings, hitting 800.
Yeah, really putting up great numbers for Dixon, but since she's only playing the front row, she gets less opportunities than Baca, Cox, and even Myers.
Lauren Hinkle back to serve. Had an ace and an error in that first set. Here's Cox, who had a good start to the match for the Tigers. To Baca. Tigers popcorning it around. Cox will have to free it over in Missouri, yet to really get in system. Warner finishes.
Cox got pulled in. She got froze at the net there. She was trying to pay attention to that middle, and she was late out on Warner, and Warner had almost a free open line shot. She does a good job seeing that and finishing.
Well, I'll give credit to you. No surprise. All-American outside hitter picking up what seems to be something K-State must have picked up on film. The success against the left side hitters of the Tigers, who have been late on getting out on Warner.
Yeah, Warner really has an opportunity here to kind of lead the Wildcats with the amount of sets that she's getting, and if they can put her in a good position, she really can finish. Something on the court.
Yeah, it was. A piece of metal. Quick set to Bolding, who has been quiet. Middles for both sides. In fact, not much of the match here so far. And Cox, perhaps not quite in rhythm as she was earlier, hits one too tall over everyone. The Tiger team, as we mentioned, with a lot of youth, a lot of young ladies that were ranked among the top 100 recruits in the country here the last 2 years. Joshua Taylor has been able to pull in some really unbelievable talent to Columbia. The Tigers last season really struggled at a 5-26 clip. They were preseason number 11 in the SEC this year. To a decent start at 4-2, although the schedule has not been quite as difficult. Certainly ramping up here against the Wildcats.
Yeah, Myers, great shot. Finding those deep corners. Again, just not trying to do too much. As a freshman, she's just keeping that ball in front of her. Really like her approach to the game right now.
Going all the way left side for Cox. I don't think she ever got that over. And 4 hits against Missouri.
Yeah, you almost get the feeling like Cox is getting all the pressure right now. That ball's really getting out to her a lot. And she's a little bit strained in some of these positions because he's trying to play defense, and her transition's just not quite as smooth.
Cox dangerously close to a lift. The Tigers all out of sorts. I mentioned the young team. You're going to see this at times with youth. Look like world beaters for one moment, and then
Yeah.
the train's off the tracks in another. Myers continues trying to do too much. Just continues to find a way to rack up kills. The freshman, 7 kills on 8 swings. Tigers call timeout.
Sacked again. Are you kidding me? Unreal what this kid is doing.
Warner with a great effort to get the first down. I thought for sure he was going to be stopped short of the line to gain.
You can do your part to win the dang day by making small, daily improvements such as eating more fruits and vegetables, living tobacco-free, and taking a short walk. All these things can all make a great impact on your overall wellness. Join me, Chris Kleiman, head football coach of your K-State Wildcats, along with Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas and Stormont Vale Health in our PowerCat Health Partnership, encouraging all Kansas to live a healthier lifestyle.
Learn more about the PowerCat Health Partnership by visiting kstatesports.com/PowerCat Health.
Baca has been the steady hand for the Wildcats, really doing it all in the front row and the back row. You know, she's got that veteran play for the Wildcats, really what they need as a young team trying to find their positions. And she's really come to K-State and found her voice. She's doing it all. Like I said earlier, her service line, she's got 14 service aces on the year. Amazing play by Elena Baca.
No doubt. Fifth-year senior has been special for the Cats, not only this season, but again here tonight. Big reason why they're up 1-0. Blocking here on the Tigers. And for more on Baca, let's go to the third member of our crew again, Jasmine Halliburton. What do you got, Jasmine?
Hey guys, so Elena Baca has made an immediate impact through her 6 matches with the Wildcats as she leads the team in kills and aces. And the St. Mary's transfer had a career-high 19 kills against UCF on her way to her 2nd straight all-tournament team selections. And she already has 2 double-doubles on the season, including 14 kills, 14 digs, and 4 aces against North Florida. And her 14 aces tops the Big 12.
Yep. And among the top 15 in the country, no doubt with that. 3 straight matches with double-figure kills for Baca on her way to 4, and she has 6 already here tonight. And doing a lot of that, being the principal serve receiver in the back line. And teams are not dumb, right? You want to serve at another team's outside hitter.
Yeah, and really she's done such a nice job and stepped into that leadership role for this Wildcat team and been that steady hand for them. Kind of that question mark they had was on their serve receive, and she's really stepped in and done a nice job.
Myers. Tigers thought that perhaps Fernholz played that too far over the net, but will not get the call.
Yeah, they also wondered if that ball was really over the plane of the net, but not enough to challenge there.
Each side gets 2 challenges per match. If you win the challenge, you get to keep it, can use it again. If you lose the challenge, you lose the opportunity to have any more beyond the 2. All that changes if you get to the 5th. We'll worry about that another time. Playing volleyball at the moment. K-State got out to a fast start. Tigers get the side out, pulled it within 3.
Anna Dixon trying to make her impact here. She finally got into the game, was setting out those first few rotations.
It's been that way for the Tigers a little bit this season. They have started more with Cox. Again, playing all 6 rotations. Dixon doesn't really do that. So you have Dixon coming in for just a few rotations. It's really limited how much they can get that big cannon of an arm of Anna Dixon going, the veteran.
Yeah, it's a fine balance, you know, having an outside hitter who can receive well, because really, if you're going to be playing all 6 rotations, you got to be able to pass the ball.
As you mentioned before, Dixon's style, more of what you used to see in volleyball a lot. Hitters that only played that front row, physical, fast, gonna smack the ball around, and Dixon did that when she was here at Kansas State. Another Wildcat on the roster, injured, not playing, Bryn Carlson, also in that mold at 6'4" as an outside hitter. Here's Baca, and she is roofed. Strasser.
We saw this early in the first set as well, that Missouri block putting up a huge wall for Baca. She responded well in the first set. We'll see if she makes some adjustments here in the second.
Good cover by Mengwal Durant. But on the continuation of the rally, K-State gets the finish.
Yeah, Baca mixed up her shot. She wasn't quite in rhythm with her approach on that attack, but does a nice job. Off shot down the line, and again, that's a little bit of that sand play, that kind of off shot.
Morris trying to pick on Dixon. She'll get it back. Initial block, but not covered by K-State. Dixon has number 7. But again, here's the somewhat problem for the Tigers. Dixon rotates out.
Yeah, when she's in, she's really making an impact for them, and you can definitely tell when she's out, it's a little bit different.
It's the trade-off. Another good up by the Tigers. Cox tight to the net. Baca on the way down, able to take the block and finish.
She definitely has that never give up attitude. Baca, just great reaction there. Ball up for play. Line shot.
8 kills, 4 digs now for Baca. Set her to the back row for the Wildcats. Haley Warner, one-on-one.
Yeah, Hinkle's definitely finding a better rhythm with Warner. Her last few sets to her have been really good, and Warner's been able to get on top of the ball.
Ever since you pointed out that conversation by one of K-State's assistants, Jeff Grove, with Hinkle coming out of a timeout where they were struggling on that right side, it has been much different. Another ace for Lauren Hinkle.
Hinkle's got such a really nice serve. She can really get some float on that ball. So hard to pass.
Hunting for the corner, didn't get it.
I think I jinxed her.
May have. Pair of aces, 2 airs for Lauren Hinkle. Led the team with service aces last year of 34. She'll stay in the back row for the Wildcats now. Hinkle underneath the net. Got the finish and the kill before she made contact with the Tigers. It's an important balancing act done by Lauren Hinkle on that play.
Yeah, some may question that call, but she didn't interfere until the ball was already on the ground.
Susie Fritz talking with her right now. Shallow serve coming. High lift dug by Hinkle. Off the pass!
Wow, the freshman. Who would have known?
Timeout Tigers on this incredible play by Shailene Myers off the pass and dig of Lauren Hinkle. Unbelievable play again by Myers, who continues to impress. 9 kills, only 1 error on 12 swings, hitting 6-6-7 from the left side in place of the All-American candidate Aaliyah Carter.
Yeah, I mean, Shaylee has done a really great job of just hitting high. You really notice she's getting her feet to the ball really nice. Just there, she had a step close, really nice high hit, and she's using all areas of the court and really seeing the block in front of her and knowing what she has available. Really veteran play by the freshman.
And while Myers has been taking center stage for the Wildcats as a young player, it's the veteran of Anna Dixon over on the Tiger side. As we've talked about tonight, when she's been in, she's been lethal.
Yeah, she's a phenomenal volleyball player. She's the kind of the picturesque volleyball player that you see. She's got a lot of strength, a very heavy arm, and she has great vision of the court. And when she's on the floor, she's definitely the go-to player for the Missouri Tigers.
Well, we mentioned already some of the resume of Dixon. For more on her resume, let's go back to Jasmine.
Hi guys, so former Wildcat but now Mizzou Tiger was named to the preseason All-SEC team for the very first time in her career there. And following the 2021 campaign, she was invited to the Women's National Team Open program in Colorado, where she trained and competed with some of the top college players in the country.
Well, she has been, as we mentioned, when she came to K-State, one of the more highly sought-after recruits in the country and in the region. Every bit deserving of those national team opportunities. Holding, trying to get one down, could not, and another blocking there on the Tigers. So after being relatively air-free in the first set, seen a little bit more of the airs creep up for the Tigers. And a lot of those problems have stemmed around their ability to be terminal. Only 4 kills.
Yeah, they're not passing as well, so they're not able to get into a rhythm offensively, and that's really put a lot of pressure on the outside hitters for Missouri.
Cox has been running all over the place. Another big up in the back row. Baca sends it just near Myers, who just has to play it over. And Eilif able to sneak one over to get a kill and get the rally turn. The Tigers going to make a little bit of a change here, and Jasmine Doolin, the freshman from Blue Valley High School over in Kansas City, is going to check in. An outside hitter, undersized at 5'8". She's really been in just to serve this year for the Tigers. And that's what she's doing here. Touched by K-State. They'll turn it over to their side.
Again, Warner with the kill. Notice she's been kind of holding her back here a little bit. I'm not sure what might have happened, but I saw her talking to Coach Fritz before that last point, but does a nice job with getting the kill.
Just over, great serve and an ace by K-State. It's Bolding that gets the ace for the Wildcats. The 6'5" senior from Pickens, South Carolina. You mentioned this before with watching Bolding at 6'5". She doesn't play like she's 6'5".
She's really been amazing to watch her progression from last year to this year. She's almost a completely different player this year. And I love seeing her at the service line. Her serve is so good. And again, I think it's that high contact point, 6'5", jumping up in the air, hitting the ball over the net. That's a tough serve.
Getting 4 rotations right now for Kansas State. Myers dug out. Cox way off the net, could not get it in. Back to Myers. Starting to hit a little bit more resistance. Tigers win the rally.
And here comes Anna Dixon back onto the court for the Tigers.
One of the few veterans for Missouri. On a roster full of underclassmen. The veteran Dixon trying to get the Tigers back into it, but a service error and a costly one. As it relates to Dixon, it's costly because it's one less rotation. Yes. She gets the swing.
Yes.
You only get her for 3 rotations each time around. Now you just burn one if you're the Tigers. Dixon covered by Ramsey. Myers able to get it in behind the block.
Well, we see her do it about everything there at the net. Myers, the little soft touch over the block.
What a story. Out of Lincoln Southeast, originally had committed to Fresno State. Coaching change there. Myers ends up coming to Manhattan. Short 2-hour drive down from Lincoln. And she's been part of the reason the Wildcats have sparked here in this match against the Missouri Tigers.
Hinkle with the block there. Hinkle a little bit undersized, but able to put up a nice block there at the net.
Baca's going to get a breather here. She's played every set for the Wildcats this season. Hinkle's going to get a breather, and freshman Ava LeGrand, Wildcats star recruit, the freshman setter from Papillion, Nebraska, suburb of Omaha. She is now in, along with Aaliyah Carter, who takes over the role for Baca. Buckley, who we saw drop one in earlier.
Definitely tell Buckley has that offensive mind when she gets an opportunity. K-State's got to, think of her as a hitter at the net.
Sister Skylar Buckley on the team, a reserve defensive specialist. Myers, and she is blocked. K-State was going to ride with Myers. It's interesting, Myers and Carter, this will be the first time they have played together at the same time. Wildcats really have just 3 outside hitters. Anaya Clinton, another, is redshirting, it would appear. She's in street clothes tonight. Carter with the serve receive. Myers well off the net, gets her 11th.
That was a little out of system for Myers, but she has a great step close and finds the court.
Now we'll see Myers serve. She had 4 aces in the one match she played earlier this year. Too long. K-State in command of this second set. Trying to go up 2 sets to none before the intermission. As brief as it may be. LeGrand in a tussle above the net wins the war. Well, Hinkle, even though she blocks well, this is what you get from LeGrand at 6'1".
Yeah, she's definitely got some height on her, so that blocking ability is definitely an advantage for K-State.
Wildcats have had a great history of tall setters. A rare middle swing by Strasser, and it goes right out of bounds. Another error by the Tigers. And K-State with set point number 1. Dixon tried to tool the block, misses, and the Wildcats are up 2 sets to none on the Tigers, their old rivals from Missouri. Back with more when we return on Big 12 Now on ESPN+.
Making smart plays. And then you've got Shaylee Myers. She's stepped in, the freshman, again, providing the kills, but also playing defense back row. You don't understand how difficult that is, and to think that she's only a freshman doing it all on the court right now and leading the Wildcats with 11 kills.
Hitting 500, no less, on the left side. I mean, it's not just 11 kills, but hitting 500. There's Baca as well. Hit percentage a little low, had a lot of errors early, but nearing another double-double is Baca. 8 kills, 6 digs, as you saw there. As we get back to live action, bowling blocked by Missouri. The Tigers, you would think from their perspective here, Liz, the start of this third set, pretty important for Missouri.
Yeah, they need to start off early. They need to put the pressure on K-State, which they have not been able to do since early in the first set.
Tigers played really sharp volleyball About a third of the way in that first set, all the way to the very end. Had 2 set points to finish off K-State at 24-22, but could not get it closed out. Go back to those numbers we showed a little bit earlier. Cool Cats and then some. It has been pretty awesome to watch Shaylee Myers go to work and Baca, the veteran, do her thing. Legrand, the backup setter, still in for K-State as we start this third set.
There's the block of Sydney Bolding. She's got the matchup with Anna Dixon. Probably a good rotational fix there for K-State. Putting up the big block. Dixon trying to hit high hands, but Bolding with the finish.
Each rotation has its strengths and weaknesses, and each coach, this is part of scouting at Volleyball 101, you try and match up your strongest hitter against the weakest block, the weakest link, if you will, of the other rotation. Imagine like a gear with different size spokes, and you're trying to notch your biggest gear into the weak spot of the opponent. K-State guessed it right so far in this one. As you said, they've got their best blocker against the best outside hitter of Missouri. Joshua Taylor and the Tigers will have to scheme up another way to get around that matchup. You see Hinkle sitting over on the bench for K-State with a foot elevated, so perhaps Hinkle being taken out is not all about just seeing Legrand get some minutes and some points. Tip to the back corner in for Missouri. The Tigers up by 2 here in the early going.
Yeah, smart play there by Dixon. You've got Legrand playing defense right back. She just throws it deep. And Legrand not able to make the play.
Legrand quick sets Fernholz, and she's able to get a kill.
We've seen Legrand and Fernholz actually have a pretty good connection in earlier matches when they've been able to play together. It's always a bit of an adjustment as a hitter.
Legrand, a top 100 recruit overall, first team All-American. Outside, good for the Tigers.
See the Tigers going at the freshman outside hitter, trying to go against her block. Take advantage of that Eilif with the finish.
Using K-State strategy against them. Wildcats early pushed the right side with much success. This time, Myers and Fernholz get the last laugh.
Myers doesn't act much like a freshman with her blocking. She really doesn't. She's got those long arms and just finishes into the court.
Morris on a dive. Myers having to clean that up from behind the 10-foot line. Baca off the block.
I'm a huge fan of the tool off the block. That is a phenomenal attack by Baca. Does a great job just using those high hands of Eilif.
I don't want to say it's a lost art, but it almost feels like it. You don't see it as much. It feels like we don't see it as much as we used to.
Agreed. You see a lot more of those kind of clean attacks, kind of almost avoiding that block. I know for myself as an undersized outside hitter, I had to use that block in front of me, so I like to see outside hitters do that.
2 on the block, hitting it off the hands purposely to hit it out of bounds. Baca. Her last 3 kills have all been off the block.
Yeah, off the head there of Sell on this last attack from Baca.
Baca, the familiar double pigtail look tonight. Nearing 10 kills. She has double figures in kills, and now an ace by Morris. K-State 4 aces by 3 different players. Hinkle with 2. Bowling with 1, Morris now with 1, and those are the 3 that rank among the leaders in the Big 12 coming into play tonight. As a team, Kansas State first in the league with 51 service aces coming into play. Morris, what an up. Tight set, Baca left-handed got it over. Now a more conventional swing. Tigers in system. Another long rally. A momentum builder, it's Baca. What else off the block?
Again, credit the veteran play of Baca. Those sets have not been quite as good as Baca needs them. She does a nice job of just keeping that ball in play, using the block in front of her, doing whatever it takes to get it over the net.
So Baca now tied with Myers with 11 kills for a match high. Two hitters run left side of the center, and the Tigers break serve.
Yeah, Cox's best attack since early in this game.
Now serving for the Tigers, #1, Jasmine.
Like the block may have gone up on the middle, who came to the left side of the center. Brings Doolin into serve again. Bolding. The decision-making of LeGrand has been impressive.
Yeah, it's really been nice. That's a great pass, and she had an open net for Bolding, and she takes advantage.
Change up by Cox.
Well, there's the range for Cox. We saw an earlier cross-court slam, and there, just a line shot, a little off speed.
Very tight. Warner still finishes.
Now, luckily, Warner was one-on-one with Dixon, and that gave her the opportunity to slide inside that block of Dixon. That left hand, she's able to hit that sharp angle.
Warner coming off a season-high 9 kills in her last match against UCF, but that was in 5 sets. She's already at 8 kills. And we're not even done with the third. Back to her. Anna Dixon trying to get over that big block. And a blocking error on the Tigers. It's going to go on Sell.
We've seen several blocking errors from Missouri. It's almost like they're getting in their own way with those errors like that.
Played error-free in the first set for the most part, but attack errors and blocking errors have crept up in the second and now third. Dixon over the block, kind of with an excuse me shrug to the sky as that gets the point.
Yeah, she didn't quite get a good contact with her hand, but able to get enough speed on it to beat the K-State defense.
Dixon now nearing double figures for the 6th time in 7 matches to start the season. Postseason All-SEC pick. Anna Dixon. Missed opportunity there for Strasser. K-State trying to take advantage. Palms on, saved by Doolin. Good work with a pancake. And then Myers looking for any help, could not get it. Tigers win the rally.
That's such a great up in the back row for Missouri. The pancake is such a hard play. You see it so rarely.
K-State with an authoritative response.
You see K-State trying to get that middle going a little bit more in this third set. All part of the plan, I'm sure. Right side heavy early. Now trying to get those middles going.
Bolding with an ace already here tonight. Picks up another. Right at the last second, you saw Doolin almost have the oh no look on her face as the ball moved. And that forces a Tiger timeout. We'll take it as well. Cats by 3, up 2 sets to none in Manhattan on Big 12 Now on ESPN+.
Who can make sure your living room is always a perfect 71 degrees? That the drippy faucet in your kitchen is 100% less drippy? And and that your workspace is comfortably cushy. Yep, it's the get it done right the first time experts from Kate's. Right now, get a rebate of up to $600 on qualified American Standard heating and air conditioning systems with Kate's. Because who can keep your house humming like a well-oiled machine? That's right, Kate's can.
Hi, this is Coach Tang, and we're used to talking about all things basketball. But right now, I want you to hear these 4 important words about the growing crisis of drug overdose. One pill can kill. Kansans are dying every week from drugs laced with deadly fentanyl. Please educate your loved ones to steer clear of street drugs. Never buy pills online without a prescription, and always use a reputable pharmacy. One pill can kill.
Kansas State looking for a straight set win. Let's go to Jasmine with more.
Hey guys, so Mizzou assistants were talking to their players, talking about play fast and off the net, trying to make a comeback here.
All right, now backing off the net a little bit. And right now, K-State putting it on them. They've tried to readjust that back line, Liz. It didn't seem to matter.
Yeah, they just, again, aren't able to get a good enough pass right now to get themselves in the system to run that fast offense. You know, they're trying to speed up the game a little bit and get in K-State's block there a little bit, get them off balance.
Cox from behind the 3-meter line couldn't get it. Myers joust above the net, won by K-State. Warner is blocked but covered. Myers with a sharp angle.
Yeah, that set was tight for Myers, but she does a nice job of getting her feet around the ball. And then that allows her to hit that ball inside the block.
We might get a challenge here by the Tigers. We've not yet had a challenge tonight. And we will have a review. William Stanley, longtime veteran official, will go to the monitor to get a look at this one. He signaled that they were looking for a touch. So whether this is a legitimate review or if it's a delay to try and slow down the momentum of K-State, Missouri still had another timeout, but you can see it becomes a de facto timeout for both teams as William Stanley comes to take over and take a look at this.
It didn't seem like Myers was very close to the net there.
The net was bouncing, but I don't think that was from the attack.
Not sure. Yeah, they feel like maybe it was earlier on. Or maybe they're challenging it. Did the ball go over?
That's right. If there's a touch right there.
The net.
Could have been 4 hits on K-State if there's not a touch on that swing by Warner. But that's right in front of the tower official. The replay in volleyball is not like football. There is no level of standard you have to meet. It's clear. It's just only in the opinion of the official himself or herself watching the play do they feel there's enough evidence to overturn. And in this case, there is not.
A pretty quick challenge. Always like to see those go a little quicker.
Here you go. And truthfully, it didn't feel like, yeah, that's definitely one you want to look at.
Yes.
It was more like, hey, we need a break.
Let's challenge.
Let's challenge. We got 2 to burn. We still have another timeout. And it worked as Bolding serves long. So you break the serve of one of the better servers of K-State. Tigers get the ball back. You're only down 4. And you have Dixon on the court and trying to make a comeback. Bolding is out.
Yeah, with those challenges you got them, you might as well use them.
Myers.
That's a great example there for Myers. She saw an opening in that block and was able to put a little bit more on that attack swing. You see she finishes right at the end. She sees that hole and she just finishes. Great, smart play by the freshman. Again, I can't say how much smart her play is. It's just really veteran almost.
Molly Ramsey with an ace. 4 aces in this set for Kansas State.
Ramsey's really been serving a short ball on Missouri, trying to get in their heads a little bit on that serve receive.
Sophomore from Nebraska gets another.
Uses the net to her advantage, whatever it takes.
Back-to-back aces for Ramsey, who ties her career high with 2 service aces. And what is kind of a spark plug defensive specialist at 5'4". She's been one of the Energizer bunnies for Kansas State.
Yeah, definitely an area that they've really been lacking. You know, we've noticed that over the last year, but really she's trying to provide that spark. And we talk about how much with volleyball you need to have some fire and passion when you're out there on the court, and she's definitely got that for the Wildcats.
I mean, Carter has been the other, so Carter on the bench at the moment, still providing it over there, but you need somebody on the court to provide kind of that energy lifting spirit, and it's Ramsey doing it right now for Kansas State, the sophomore passer for the Wildcats. So far, a line that is extreme, huge impact, 3 digs, 2 aces, but those aces enormous, because Missouri, it felt like the Tigers had the momentum turning their way. Now all of a sudden thrown right back at them, and a young team on the road down 2-0, and you're staring up at a 7-point deficit. Tigers have got to get points and fast.
Yeah, they have really got to get their pass going. You'll see Dixon's back passing right now to see if K-State tries to go at her. She doesn't get as many reps in the back row passing the ball.
Cox playing center back for the Tigers, somewhat trying to protect Dixon. We'll see where Ramsey is elected to go with her serve. Bench signals where she's to go with a number. It's right at Dixon. You called it. Dixon says no issue.
That's a much better approach by Dixon. When you pass in the back row, that gives you a nice runway to go hit that ball. She does a nice job getting inside the block and is able to put that heavy arm on the ball.
Member of the All Big 12 rookie team in her first year in the Big 12 with K-State. Myers comes right back. And Myers looks every bit as good against Missouri as she was against Florida A&M, the preseason SWAC team that's in first.
Yeah, no nerves or fear for Myers out there on the court. She's out there giving it her all, and it's paying off.
Average nearly 5 kills a set, nearly 400 as a senior, blocking here on K-State's Baca. Still a hope for the Tigers. They need to run some points. They'll try and do that with Mengual Durant, who goes back to serve. Listed as an outside hitter, but has played some defensive specialists in her time, the Puerto Rican. And a big block served up against Fernholz.
And Cox again showing her blocking ability. Nowhere for that ball to go.
Off the shoulder of the libero of the Tigers. See everybody creeping up behind the block of Missouri. Cox, saved by Ramsey. Baca, a touch is called, overruled by the Tar official. They'll say point Tigers. Will Susie Fritz offer up a challenge? And she will. Don't believe the challenge will be on at the net,
No,
but on the back line.
I think she's thinking that ball might have been in.
Either way, we'll get a good look at it. There we go. You were right. Out or in. William Stanley back to take a look at this one from Baca. That looked to be out now.
Yep.
Should be worth pointing. If it hits any part of the white line, that is in. Looks to be out.
Yep.
Be the right call from the tower official, Craig Whittle. Multiple looks at it, but I don't think anything would show you unless you.
No touch on the block either.
Didn't look like it. Nora for the back line.
Some good shots there.
However, in a replay challenge, it should also be noted, the referee looks at the entirety of the play. If there is anything in the replay, be it a touch or into the net that was missed initially, that can be part of the overturn. So it's not just looking at the out of bounds, whether it was in or out. William Stanley looking at the entirety of that play to see if there was anything else. Was there a touch? Was there an into the net? If this challenge does not go K-State way, each team will have one challenge remaining. Unless we go to a fifth. William Stanley taking quite a bit longer to look at this, so he must be checking to see if there was any touch.
At any point, yep.
By Missouri. That'd be my only thought, because it would look pretty definitive that it was out. Challenge system was put in place a couple of years ago. It allows you to challenge on a couple of different activities, certain plays. And here again, 2 challenges to begin the entirety night. If you lose one, you lose it, just as K-State did. If you keep the challenge, again, you can. This is the challenge, retained challenge loss was to somewhat mitigate the use of challenges as timeouts. It's a little bit more of a penalty and a reward system should you get it right. K-State shakes off the lost challenge and goes back to Baca.
You will see that in a tight match late in the game when you're trying. You have no more timeouts, although they aren't technically timeouts. You'll see them being used a lot more often.
Sometimes it's a late sub. Sometimes it's a late challenge done to try and slow up the ends, or it's a call to wipe the floor.
Yeah.
You see right there.
Not as often.
Not
in
here.
Grambling.
No. In Ahern, it was a constant. In the old days. Overpass. The mistakes of Missouri have done them in here tonight.
Not anything Buckley could do. She's back row. She can't jump and play that ball. So a free net for Bolding.
Setters the back line, comes up to the front. Serve it to the net there by Morris. Side out to the Tigers, but the setter is not allowed to go attack. Play the ball above the net. Dulon is back to serve. Think that Bolding was quite ready for that.
Yeah, and that set probably, needs to be a little bit higher for her.
And we said she doesn't play at 6'5". It was meant as a compliment. She's so fast at her height. But that, she does need the ball high at 6'5".
Yes.
Good rally here by the Tigers to get to the ball and get it over. A little miscommunication. Caught up in the wash. K-State gets it over. Myers with a good dig. And Cox mishits it.
And Cox has just not quite had her rhythm that we saw early in the match. She's getting a lot of out-of-system plays. It just puts a lot of pressure.
Buckley. American center has her third kill. Trying to will her team to a late comeback and force at least a fourth set. Buckley again!
Smart play by Buckley. You've got the freshman playing middle back defense. Tight ball, opportunity to throw it deep.
Baca hunting for the high hands, misses. And Susie Fritz wants a timeout. Tigers back within 2 points in the third set. Trying to prevent K-State from a second straight season of a 3-0 win. If you're the Tigers, what are you talking about in this huddle? What have you done right? And what do you need to keep doing to get back into this match?
Well, I definitely think they're still trying to go at K-State. They're just making the errors. So I think if they can get themselves into rhythm offensively, get their middles going a little bit. They really haven't used their middles at all. It's all been right and left side dominant. They can get into system a little bit and get their middles going a little bit, balance their offense. That's what they're going to be looking to do is try to keep the pressure on K-State.
This is the lone home match in a stretch of 10 of 11 away from the Little Apple for Kansas State. The Wildcats back on the road this weekend at the Rambler Challenge in Chicago, hosted by Loyola Chicago. You got Rutgers out of the Big Ten, St. Thomas on the backside of that, and then K-State is off Kansas City for one with the Roos, and then off to Rice down in Houston for a tournament hosted by the Owls. And that will include number 17 Creighton. Creighton playing tonight in volleyball and all the volleyball. Kind of a big story. Playing Nebraska in Omaha tonight. 14,000 people on hand to watch the Huskers and the Blue Jays.
Yeah, they're big volleyball fans up there in Nebraska, so they will fill the arenas for sure. That's the type of excitement that you continue to want to strive for.
No doubt. Wildcats have been among the annual leaders in the conference in attendance. In the Big 12, Warner on the right side. Haven't seen as much of this lately in the third. K-State's gone a lot to the left. Change it up, they go to Warner.
Yeah, a little out of system play, but LeGrand with a great back set.
Warner back-to-back matches with 9 kills. We'll see if she gets her 10th and gets her first double-figure match of the season. Dixon, side out Tigers. And MU within 1.
Yeah, the Tigers have quietly crept back into this game.
Back to Warner, misses it all. We are all tied up. (11-4) run by Missouri forces yet another timeout by Kansas State.
I saw LeGrand talking to Warner on that set, whether it was what she needed, and she said no, she was just trying to hit the line. She saw something open, but just missed a little wide. Those are just the small little errors at the end of a tight match. You just don't want to give up when you're trying to finish the game.
Now, it's worth mentioning, earlier we saw Lauren Hinkle over on the bench, and she was sitting kind of with her foot elevated, almost like maybe nursing a foot injury. And maybe that's why LeGrand is in there, although the two have been neck and neck. That's what we heard earlier this year from Susie Fritz about the two setters. Again, you brought the point about how they stat it all during practice, determine off the numbers who gets into the match. There's a shot of Hinkle, who doesn't appear to look injured, but it's worth noting that as they go back to play, all the other reserve players stand up. Hinkle has not been doing that as much and standing in the crowd of players down the rest of the way. We'll see if she does that here or if she heads back to the bench.
She has had some back issues, I believe, and I'm not sure if that might be what's going on, and she's stretching things out a little bit.
Looked like a little massage gun that she grabbed as well.
She's had a lot of wear and tear in her body as a defensive specialist for the Wildcats.
Yep, played a critical back row for K-State for a couple of years. First year collegiately at setter. Played setter in high school at DeSoto High School, suburb of Kansas City. Shawnee, Kansas. Just outside of the Metroplex. So LeGrand has taken over, the freshman sensation. Again, the top 100 recruit, the jewel of K-State's recruiting class, although Myers maybe not as heralded, has certainly put up a fantastic look for K-State's freshman class tonight. Here is Myers. Blocked, saved by Morris. They're going to get over the left. And the Tigers from 7 down to 1 up here in the third.
Yeah, Morris just trying everything she can to keep that ball in play on her coverage. Just stuck a little bit to her hand.
So the Tigers with set point. Quick set bowling, just touched by the Tiger block, and that's all the opening Haley Warner needed.
Well, credit that save by Myers at the net. Just lucky to catch the roll off the tape and sets it perfect for Warner. I don't think they could have played it out more perfect if they'd tried.
Sometimes the game can be so cruel. The Tigers mere inches away from a win in this third set. Now, K-State going to extra points with the Tigers again. On a touch at the middle by Strasser. Finds the open spot. Second set point for the Tigers.
A smart set there by Buckley, getting Strasser involved. Those middles for Missouri have been so quiet this game.
Warner dug. Tigers for the set, they get it. A huge gut check moment for the young Tigers as they rally and take set 3, 26-24. Back for the fourth. Dixon starts set number 4 on the right foot for Missouri.
A little miscommunication there between Hinkle and Myers.
Myers came in early for the Wildcats. Carter has played sparingly for K-State. Baca into the antenna. Momentum certainly with Missouri. Holding. Warner with number 11.
Warner is doing a nice job. She's been a little error prone for the Wildcats, but doing a much better job tonight, mixing up her shots and seeing that block in front of her.
Yeah, came in hitting just 205 from the right. Love to see that hit percentage be a lot higher on the right. Dixon and a blocking error against K-State. It's going to go on Warner. Dixon gets another. Morris puts it near the net. Hinkle barely keeps it in play. Just over, and Myers makes something out of nothing.
And Myers just again using that block a little bit off the hands. Hinkle must be feeling okay. She made the great hustle play to keep that ball in action for Myers to finish.
Listed at 5'9", but Hinkle so long and lean. It seems like, you mentioned we saw her blocking earlier. It feels like she plays bigger than 5'9".
She does, and she jumps really well as well. She's got some leaping abilities.
Holding with another ace, that's her second. Wildcats hip to the game of Buckley now. Dropped in a couple. Another dig by Hinkle. Oh, miscommunication between K-State, but they get it over. Warner didn't get it.
I see Warner trying to hit that line again. It's an open shot for her, but she's just a little long. A little more under the ball.
11 kills, 6 errors for Warner, hitting .208, and a service error by the Tigers. It's been less of a successful night for the Tigers on their serve. 1 ace, 4 errors. K-State 9 in each category. They have been very aggressive with serve, which is not surprising. That is their MO. Cox a little long. The serve, in some respects, is like special teams in football. It's kind of the equalizer. You don't think about it all the time. You usually think about kills, swinging away on the left, digging balls, blocking the net. And they're serving, kind of sitting out there on the left side, but or out on the outside. It's like special teams. You get a great serving team or a great special teams squad in football, you can really do some damage.
Yeah. And sometimes not enough emphasis is put on that serve, but it's such an important part of the game.
Myers. Then again, you can just put it up the left side, let somebody swing away.
Hey, there's some that live by that philosophy as well. Just throw it up there.
It's your favorite philosophy.
That's right, I love it. Myers, nice job. Again, she transitions really well, gives herself a good runway. That allows her to see the court and be able to hit those shots.
Pretty a touch shot by Iliff.
Iliff has been the other bright spot for Missouri tonight.
Yeah, Cox has been completely shut down after a quick start to the night, and has been Dixon by a long shot, and then Iliff, a modicum of success. And she's just long, shooting for the corner. They're going to get a touch on K-State. Susie Fritz, I think, may employ another challenge. Cats have another left, one left, and she whips the card up right away.
The previous play is under review.
It would be unusual to have a no-touch right in front of the tower official, because usually they can hear it happen right in front of them, like an umpire catching the ball at first. Hear the bang-bang of the bag and the ball, somewhat the same of a tower official. You can hear the ball hit the finger as it goes by. I'll go back to what we said before. On the challenge, The floor official, as he takes a look at this, in his opinion, was there a touch or was there not? It does not have to be overwhelming evidence that there was not a touch in order for K-State to win this challenge. I hope that makes sense. It's just the interpretation of the floor official.
I've said it before. I'm so glad I know how to make these decisions because it is sometimes very difficult to see.
It'd be the pinky of Myers, right? I mean, that's really what we're talking about here, the right hand of Myers.
Or the arm of
Baca. She swiped at it.
It's difficult because you won't get a close enough view on Baca to really make a good. Did it hit her sleeve?
Looking for a ball rotation change here. Maybe a finger being bent back. Looks like the ball is staying the same on that shot.
Looks like a reversed call, if I can read lips.
There it is. So K-State wins the challenge, and because of that, will keep the challenge.
And it looks like coach is talking to them about the arm, the sleeve of Baca in the back row.
Yep. William Stanley explaining that he checked both, and that is what he is to do on that play. He is not to just look at the one spot that was challenged by K-State, but look at the entirety of the play, see if there was any missed calls. Eilef makes it a moot point by coming right back for the kill.
Yeah, what a serve by Myers, though. First of all, that was a bullet. Missouri, nice pass to get themselves in the system. That's what that will do for you. Get yourself a nice pass that allows you to run that offense smoothly.
Well, the roller coaster night of Missouri would be expected with such a young squad. For a couple of sets, really looking out of sorts. Not a part of this match. It looked like K-State was well on their way to a 3-set win, riding high, subbing into their bench a little bit in the third, and the Tigers suddenly found it, got back in it, and now have a little momentum, hanging with the Cats in the fourth, as K-State serves with Morris, who has an ace to her ledger. And misses here. 10th ace, or 10th error, I should say, of the night by K-State with their serve.
Rare for Morris, but I've seen a couple by her tonight. Usually so steady with her serve.
A late swing by Sell. Buckley tipped over. Dixon. Big swing and finish.
That set was a little tight for Dixon, but she does a nice job getting her feet there and is just able to use the little bit shorter block of Hinkle to her advantage.
Yeah, we mentioned that before about the rotations. You want to try and match up the best outside hitter against the weakest blocker, and Hinkle, despite being a relatively better blocker than her listed height of 5'9" would belie, is still the weakest link. And right now, the Tigers behind Dixon have pushed in front.
Dixon puts up a really nice block there. She's got that tall frame, long arms, and she's paying attention to setter's front row. She knows Hinkle's not as offensive, so gets a good block up.
A break for Baca as the block rattles into the antenna. Ties this set at 9, and Hinkle to the back row to serve. Yep. Holding her side as Hinkle goes back. It doesn't look like she's all the way at 100%. Dixon tools the block.
Such a smart play by Dixon. That block was definitely there, but she found a small area just to use that block.
Season high 15 kills for Dixon against her former team. Hitting .407. Holding just touched the net Overpass unable to be finished. Warner's had a good night. Blocked back by Dixon. Baca got it in.
Baca getting that line shot. There's definitely a big line. There's opening deep in the court down there. Good vision by her to see that with that big Missouri block, trying to take that angle from her.
Baca serving. Bolding got up, shut down Strasser. Wildcats in system. Warner finally gets the line shot to work.
Yeah, she's been trying to hit that all night. Again, great opportunity. Dixon really pulled in, trying to help on that middle attack. Gives her enough of a line shot.
And a service error by K-State sends the ball back over.
Yeah, it's just feel like it's allowing Missouri to stay in the game.
Let's see the disparity right there. 10 free points. And now 11 handed over. And an ace for the Tigers. Just their second. Back-to-back points on the serve. Communication between Hinkle and Bolding. And Hinkle laboring through what looks like less than 100%. K-State went with LeGrand for a couple of sets. And now Susie Fritz wants a timeout. Tigers in front by 2. Trying to push the Wildcats to a 5th. Back in a moment on Big 12 Now. Missouri with all the momentum here in the 4th set, serving out of the timeout, and the Wildcats will be able to get the point and the side out as Haley Warner has 13 kills.
Smart play there by Warner. She's been ripping away at the ball. Finally a little touch shot over the block.
Warner was the number 25 recruit in the nation out of high school, a 4-time All-American out of Arkansas, the player of the year. Such a highly talented recruit. It just didn't, for whatever reason, come to fruition for her at Florida. Has talked about how much she has loved her opportunity here at Kansas State. And tonight has been her best night of the season. Dixon gets another for the Tigers, but rotates out. Now can Missouri keep it rolling?
You saw the speed on that set. It was pretty fast to the outside. K-State's block nowhere near getting there.
That's a good start without Dixon on the court. A service ace. 2 in this set for the Tigers after having just 1 through the first 3. And now it's the Wildcats struggling to keep their poise. And another timeout by Kansas State.
Iliff has been so good for Missouri, taking her opportunities and making something with them. She's been the other bright spot, like we've talked about. A lot of pressure on Dixon, and Cox has not been playing up to par, but Iliff has really been carrying the other load.
The other thing, going back to something you pointed out earlier, Missouri has passed better, it seems like, here in this fourth set.
Yeah, so important, and that really has allowed them, I've seen the tempo of their sets be a little bit faster, and that's allowed them to beat the block of K-State. It makes such a big difference, that good pass, in-system play.
15 digs for Mengual Duran. You see there in the middle of that. It's her 5th straight match with 10 digs or more. 3 players with 10 digs or more tonight for the Tigers. 6 assists, 15 digs for Mengual Duran. 6 assists tie a season high for her. This is also a career high. It's the 4th time this year she's had 6 assists.
I found it very interesting her knee pads are not on her knees. She has them down around her ankles. I noticed that just playing in the last point, but she's getting on the floor.
Sure is. The only other upperclassman that plays besides Dixon. There you go. There are knee pads a little lower than her actual knees. All right, we've seen Missouri find poise, get this thing turned around. What does K-State need to do to get things back on track?
Well, in turn, they need to pass well. You've really noticed that they have not been passing as well, and Hinkle has been running all over the court. Hasn't been able to run much more of an offense than outside hitters. So pass well is a key.
Maybe find 17. But like Dixon, Warner only plays 3 sets. She'll be out. Does earn the side out. K-State serving down 3, and Warner 14 kills. 3 players with 14 or more for the Wildcat offense, which has outkilled Missouri by 20. Cox unable to get it over.
That Cox just doesn't seem to be getting a good enough transition, giving herself a good approach to hit the ball. She's almost just step closing to the ball, and that just doesn't give her enough of an angle to hit around that block.
Myers saw an opening but could not get it over.
Yeah, rare error by Myers. She's been so clean tonight for the Wildcats.
Just the 4th error by Myers in 32 swings. There she is again, and this time goes right back to the hammer.
That's great response, great set by Hinkle to get her the ball, give her a chance to correct that last mistake, and then the finish by Myers. Again, not afraid to go up there and go hit the ball.
How about the play of Hinkle? Whatever's ailing her, she's not let it on too much. But I don't think she's at 100%. How about her play here tonight?
Yeah, you know, sometimes you gotta grit it out and play through it. And she's one of the veterans on this team. She's been with the program a long time, and she's gonna fight for her team, that's for sure.
Tigers break K-State's serve. Trying to force a race to 15 points and the 5th set here in Manhattan. Baca. Buckley gets it underneath Fernholz.
Fernholz made a great read on it, but just was a little high with her arms, and Buckley able to sneak it right through between her arms and the net.
Fernholz on the right. Fernholz was coming off a season best 11 kills at Central Florida. Probably the first time we saw her break out. there in Orlando. Wondered if it would carry over here into tonight. She hasn't had many chances, just 10 swings, but has 4 kills. And is hitting .300. And Baca into the net, could not get it over.
Dixon back in the front row for Missouri.
Baca, lucky to not get called for a lift. Buckley again! The state out of timeouts.
Yeah, Buckley's so smart. Anything tight, she's gonna use that to her advantage and be aggressive at the net.
Tigers looking sharp. Double hit.
Coach Fritz has wanted that call all night. She's been yelling at the refs. You see a little bit of spin as that ball comes out of her hands. You'll often see a double called. It's been interesting to see that kind of dynamic. And, you know, it's kind of, again, a discrepancy call with the referees.
No doubt.
And what their level of comfort is with that ball. And you see there, again, that spin. Coach Fritz has been talking about it all night.
There's some level of spin that'll happen just in the nature of volleyball, and now a towel given to Buckley. I think she may have had some sweat on the hand. Missouri, sensing momentum turning, is going to call a timeout, but take a look at these last 2 sets by Buckley.
Yeah, that spin. Don't know if it's just she rotated her hands or did it actually come out with 2 contacts.
The fact that K-State's been on that since the get-go, you wonder if, again, something they had seen on film.
Yes, likely. Just watching her set, you see a little bit more spin as that ball comes out of her hands.
Buckley.
But not many double hit calls on her,
no,
though.
They have not. As you said, it's a discrepancy call by the official. Tonight, Craig Whitehall has not seen enough infraction to make a call there. We're not saying they should have. It's just that's just the way it's been tonight for Buckley. Again, won a national championship, Player of the Year in North Carolina, first team All-American, number 30 player overall. Kansas State, of course, has had their own freshman superstar, and again, it's been Shani Myers, who's tied a career high with 18 kills here tonight.
Yeah, she has been almost unstoppable for the Wildcats, kind of doing it all, making smart plays out of system, transition, even some back row attacks, and playing some defense, passing the ball on their serve-receive line. Really been very steady for the Wildcats. A great sign for Coach Fritz, looking at the future of this team.
Aaliyah Carter has hardly played and has been out. It's been Myers who's been getting the call of that OH1 spot for much of the night. Baca at one point rotated out. Carter came back in, but it's been mostly Myers and Carter, or Myers and Baca, I should say, instead of the All-American candidate and Aaliyah Carter. Dixon. Rare set for Sell in the middle. Back to Dixon. Off the block. Popped up by K-State. Baca. Well, Missouri sniffing out that line shot. Another dig on Dixon. Dug out by Mengual Durant. Tight shot for Dixon. Dug out. What a rally we've got going. Cox trying to finish it. Does eventually. What a momentum turning play.
Wow, what a time to use Cox in the back row. That was a fast second step tempo on the attack by Cox. And really the defense of Missouri, they're just digging it in the back row and making K-State make an error.
Tigers came in third of the SEC in digs. So they are a team that can do that, get you going on some rallies. Tigers came from behind to win the third. K-State trying to do the same here in the fourth and prevent this from going to the winner-take-all fifth set. Bolding could not finish. Dixon!
Wow, that is a great shot. Sky ball set to Dixon, but she finishes it. She gets her feet to the ball. That ball was way inside from where she normally hits the ball, but gets her feet to the ball and able to find that cross-court shot.
Warner was called into the net anyway, so it would have been either way a kill for Dixon. Here's Warner, and she'll go finally up the line and get it in. A little frustration seemed like.
Yeah, definitely felt a little bit behind that ball by Warner. But the line is definitely open for her to hit.
Just misfired on a couple of earlier tries, but picks up kill number 15 there. Sell, or Strasser, I should say. We've seen few sets to the middle for the Tigers.
Yeah, her best attack by far all night.
Set point for Missouri. Missouri down 7, backs against the wall in the third, come all the way back, win that one, and now win the fourth. A race to 15 when we return. What a performance by Anna Dixon and the Missouri Tigers. Backs against the wall in the third set, down 7 points at one point. They have rallied. They held all the way through 4, even with a late K-State rally. And Dixon, with 17 kills, hitting .343 to the left, of one of the few veterans on the Tiger team, has willed this team to a fifth and a race of 15 points.
Yeah, she definitely brings a calm to this young Missouri team. And she just is so smart at the net. And when they have needed an answer, she has been the one to provide it and really brought that fire and has not allowed them to really give up, you know, because as a young team, you wonder if they are going to give up. But her just continuing to grind away and not really get down on herself really brings a lot to this Missouri team.
See why she was one of 22 selected to the U.S. Collegiate National Team. Jasmine told us about that at the outset of tonight's broadcast. There are her numbers for the Tigers. All right, so we go to 15 points now here in the 5th set. Mistakes are magnified. Win by 2, go to 15. Teams will flip ends when they get halfway through at 8 points. And this, Liz, you've been a part of 5-set matches a lot. It goes fast.
It goes real fast, and yes, every error is magnified tremendously. So see if this young Missouri team, how they handle this pressure on the road.
Well, and for Kansas State, do they curtail their serving aggressiveness at all? They really kind of bit them there late in the 3rd set. They rolled up 4 service errors.
Yes, it's like I said, it's always a fine line. You got to put the pressure on Missouri, but they've been passing so well, even with aggressive serves by K-State. So maybe they got to mix up who they're serving at or what they're doing, kind of their plan of attack.
We saw Ava LeGrand in for a while at center for K-State, as it would appear with no information shared by the K-State coaches that Lauren Hinkle, starting center, is not at 100%, but playing through it. And the Tigers will serve it up with Cox. So here we go in the 5th. Baca. Warner ready to clean it up.
Just an easy free ball over the net, and Warner, quick arm, good response for the Wildcats. You'll see Missouri started with Anna Dixon up in the front row.
Going with the best. Blocked!
That set was a little inside and tight. Dixon tried to beat Bolding's left arm, but Bolding, great finish.
Just the 6th error by Dixon in near 40 swings tonight. Myers, she is roofed.
Missouri used that back row attack by Cox again, but Sell with a nice block.
And a service there. We talked about the mistakes. Service errors in the 5th are just killers. Dixon couldn't get it in. And suddenly the Tigers, after sharp play at the end of the 3rd and all of the 4th, have become error prone again.
Yeah, they don't have the room here in this 5th set to make errors like that.
Critical possession here for the Tigers. Don't want the Wildcats to get up too far in front. They have shown the ability to come back. But another big block on Dixon! Timeout, Missouri!
K-State knows where that ball is going. Outside to Anna Dixon, and they are putting up a wall.
Haley Warner. Huge night offensively. 2 big-time blocks here in the 5th.
Yeah, probably her best play for the Wildcats her entire career here at K-State.
Showing some emotion right there from Haley Warner. We don't see that very often.
No, you don't, but you know when you do see it, there's something. She's willing this team to win at home against Missouri.
Look at those lines. That line for Warner. The block number, a season high, 1 off a career high, and she's 3 kills away from tying a career high.
Yeah, she's tall, long arms. She's able to put up a great block. Another benefit of the lefty on the right side of the court is putting up a big block, especially against a good outside hitter, which K-State faces a lot in the Big 12.
No doubt. We're looking ahead to what they'll face in conference play. Mentioned Logan Eggleston, who's on another planet, but just beyond that, Baylor in a top 10 team for much of the season. Kansas in the top 20. Texas Tech threatened perhaps a top 25 ranking. Iowa State also expected to be in that middle group. K-State wants to be in the upper half of the league. Conference last year was able to get 6 teams in the postseason out of 10. See if that's the case again this year. It'll be tough sledding with the top 3, but Wildcats, when they're on their game, as good as any. They've been sharp to start the 5th. Kansas State 0-1 in 5-set matches so far this year, coming off their first loss at Central Florida in 5 sets. That was last week. Myers, number 19.
That was a great pause by Myers on her approach. You'll see she just gives a little pause in her step close and finds that seam just right between the block.
Boy, she has been merciless in finding the gap of the Tiger block today. Dixon trying to change it up after 2 blocks. Here's Warner. Doolin was ready. Back to Dixon. After such a fantastic first 4 sets, Dixon's really struggling to get going here in the 5th. Cox from behind the 3-meter line. Myers for number 20.
Mix-up shot by Myers. Set was a little low for her, not able to get a full swing on it, but just pushes it down the line. That deep line shot has been open on the Missouri Tigers side. Good vision by Myers.
Boulding back to serve. K-State rolling here with the 5th set. And can't quite get one to roll over.
That would have been something had that ball rolled over onto Missouri's side.
Kaylee Cox, star player for the Tigers, freshman or sophomore outside hitter, may have been a little dinged up on one of those dives a little bit earlier. She's been checking out her right hip. These last few plays does not look like she's moving around as well. Dixon hard into the block. Myers trying to build on what has been another career night. Dixon misses everything. And now the teams will flip ends as we hit 8 points. All K-State in the early going. There you see Cox a little gingerly going over to the other side. She got up very slow after that head first dive. And there you go, checking out what may be a little floor burn.
But she's definitely going for it in the back row. All out effort. Even though offensively she hasn't been what she's been able to provide for the Tigers in previous matches, she's still giving it a lot there on the defensive side.
It was on the 20th kill of Warner that she came up a little bit slow. Dixon. Myers finishes again.
Myers. 22. Wow. What's so impressive, I just really am admiring her step close. She steps inside that block, gets her shoulders and hips in a position to hit inside that block. It's hard to do.
Given every opportunity, she has taken advantage of it, and at the moment has displaced what many thought would be a preseason All-American Aaliyah Carter. And it is not, again, anything Aaliyah Carter has done. It is more Myers is forcing her way through the door and given the opening and has taken advantage of it.
Oh, absolutely. She's taken this opportunity and run with it for sure.
All right, we talked about this a little bit earlier. Kaylee Cox on one of the kills by Myers. Here's a great look at it. Diving for it here in the back. Went hard on her right hip, and you can see she comes up a little bit gingerly and a little slow. And after this play was checking out her right side quite a bit.
Yeah, she's going all out back there in the back row. Hasn't been as offensive, but definitely defensive. Yeah, 19 digs. Great numbers by Cox. She's a tall girl in the back row flying around on the court. That's not easy to do either.
Had 22 in a match last year against Alabama. The 19 this year, a season high. Nearing a double-double. There you see the scoring run by K-State. That has them in command here in the 5th. Only going to 15, so Kansas State with a large advantage, but it should be noted they were up 7 in the 3rd set and could not close out the Tigers. At 19-12, they were unable to finish it out. But right now, the Missouri passing has left it. Tigers were passing so well in the 3rd and the 4th, and this disappeared in the 5th. Another ace for K-State, their 10th. High look from the left side.
The lefty on the left. That's a hard attack to make, but Eilish does a good job. Nice high. She just hit that ball nice and high. She's been the other bright spot for Missouri tonight.
Out of St. Louis, Missouri. Hinkle on the run. A bit off balance, and Myers still gets it.
Hinkle having to go after that dig that was way off the court. And then Myers, nice job, just again, those high hands.
Service error by Myers. 13 errors by K-State with their serve, but 10 aces. High risk, high reward. And sometimes high error. Hinkle somehow gets to that, but it will fall out of bounds. Boy, again. Hinkle at times, it doesn't look like it's 100%, but yet does a play like that, and you're like, well, all right, maybe just fine.
She's got the fight.
Baca, too long. Back-to-back errors by the Wildcats, a glimmer of hope for the Tigers.
Luckily, K-State has that breathing room. They don't want to let Missouri run away with it.
Baca into the block. It has been a hard-earned double-double for Baca tonight.
Baca definitely not hitting at her typical rate. Her hitting percentage a little bit low, but the things she provides for this team with her serve and back row play has been huge.
Iliff got the touch. Yeah, some may wonder, boy, you have Myers going off. Why don't you have her paired with Carter, because Baca's been a little bit high error, and that's the reason you would think, right?
Yeah,
that's what you're saying.
She's better in the back row, just in her serve receive capabilities and defense.
And K-State's a little thin in the passer department. That's another factor in all of this, as Baca is blocked. K-State doesn't have, they only have 2 defensive players on the roster now with Hinkle as a setter. So you only have Morris and Ramsey. It's not like you have all of these passers you can rotate in and afford to have someone just play 3 sets.
Yeah, that's right.
You have to have your outside hitter play 6 rotations.
That was a great set by Hinkle. A little bit higher for Bolding. Does a nice job getting up early, being ready to hit the ball.
Second double-figure kill match of the year for Boulding, and now 4 in double figures for K-State. They have 70 kills on the night. Hinkle just misses with a serve. 2 aces, 3 airs for Hinkle. And what was once an 8 and 7-point lead for K-State has been whittled to 4. Dixon. Tigers needed that one. They didn't get it. It's match point for K-State.
It's unfortunate. Dixon has been her own worst enemy here this 5th set. Just too many errors.
0 kills, 5 errors on 5 swings for Dixon in the 5th. Almost ran out of steam. They break match point number 1. State fans still on their feet. It's still match point. Trying to sweep the Tigers in the 2-year set, in the 2-year series. 1 last year in Columbia in 3. Trying to take them down in 5 in Manhattan. Warner gets it! Haley Warner with her best match of the season for the Wildcats.